5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let the games begin.
Many of the most successful people we all know say one of the fastest ways to become successful is to do what most everyone else won't do. MaXXXine in this week's review is the main character of MaXXXine, and she takes that point to the extreme in her drive, I should say, to find that Hollywood fame that she craves so badly. And she's taking nobody's crap in this whatsoever. So you know what? Let's do this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Hey there, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of Movies Merica Live. Welcome back, everybody. It's after the 4th of July holiday weekend. So I haven't had a show here for the last few times. I was actually supposed to have a show here because I was on a 4th of July holiday, but I am back, and man, is it good to be back. I missed you guys. I missed you, okay? And I'm going to try not to embarrass myself by getting overly emotional. All right, too late. But I really want to welcome back, especially my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are. And as you heard in the little intro, the little opening there, this week's episode is all about the new MaXXXine, or movie called MaXXXine, I should say. It's the latest installment from Ty West in his X trilogy of horror movies. And yeah, definitely I'm going to go into a little bit more in-depth knowledge and information about this time. But real quick here, you know what, just so you don't have to try to visualize and use your imagination about the world of MaXXXine, let me play you a little teaser trailer.
MaXXXine. You're quite a popular name in adult entertainment, is that correct?
Did you always want to be in that line of work?
I always wanted to be famous. Name 5 celebrities who got their start in horror movies.
Jamie Lee Curtis, John Travolta, Demi Moore, and
MaXXXine Minx.
The Night Stalkers.
Terrorizing Los Angeles.
I can handle myself.
So said every third girl in Hollywood.
MaXXXine, I'm the private detective. I had to find you. The past ain't finished with you.
What are you hiding, MaXXXine?
If I tell you something, we've got confidentiality.
What'd you do?
MaXXXine,
You're a movie star.
Instant July 5.
All right, so yeah, so there's a little visual stimulation for you with this week's movie that I'm going to spoiler-free review right there. And so a little bit of the plot is that MaXXXine continues her journey through this X trilogy from her I don't want to say adventure, her real horror story that she went through in the movie X, which was the first movie in the X trilogy right there. And then MaXXXine is the third movie wrapping up that trilogy, of course, right there. And real quick here, I just spotted a little live chat here from Rumble here. Yes, my good friend Lindy Rigg, 87 here with some serious otter action in the live chat on Rumble here. And good to see you right here. Okay, so yeah, you bringing the otter. All right. And you know what? Good thing I was a good spotter for your otter. I appreciate that, Lindy Rigg. Coming up here in the show. Good to see you here, and want to look forward to hearing a lot more from you here in this episode. right here. But so MaXXXine has our character of MaXXXine recovered from the horror show, basically, that she went through in the first movie, again, X, and she's back in Hollywood, trying to get the fame, seeking the fame that she so seriously wants. And as of when we first see her in MaXXXine, she's still a adult film star, and she's basically in the world of adult entertainment, but she's trying to go legits, okay? And so she's trying to get into a horror movie that doesn't entail her taking all her clothes off, right? And so then she does find out that there is a detective played by Kevin Bacon that is coming around and just being this annoying cuss that is threatening her with blackmail over the slaughter, the massacre that took place in Texas. Again, all of which is told in the first movie called X right there. And so because of that very reason, I would recommend watching at least X, the first movie in this trilogy. You may not have to watch the movie Pearl, which is the second movie in this. Pearl deals with a character that isn't even in MaXXXine right there, but X is a direct connection to MaXXXine, and so you might be a little lost when you hear about some of the aspects of what they're talking about, particularly about what Kevin Bacon is right here. So you might be might be a little confused. Would you be confused?
Yeah.
So, but it's not a deal breaker, though. You don't have to see X, but it just adds all kinds of important context to this movie. And I think X is maybe on like Netflix or Prime, Amazon Prime right now, I believe, or Max. One of those streaming services, X is on there. So I definitely would check that out. So then again, MaXXXine, she's still going through her search for fame in Hollywood. And it's no easy street. I mean, and no one would expect it to be, right? You have to work hard. But then on top of that, she's got this, this serial killer on her ass, making her the common denominator between his victims. And so she's trying to find fame, but she's also trying to keep Kevin Bacon off her ass and also not trying to get slashed by this serial killer. So not a great week for MaXXXine. And if she ever does get fame, we don't know, right? If you haven't seen the movie, you don't know. She's really going to appreciate that. Okay, so and a lot of times in this movie, she goes through a lot of experiences that basically make her say,
"No, God, please, no, no."
And it gets ugly, but so that's essentially the plot. That's about as much plot as I want to give away to you here. As far as MaXXXine goes, you're gonna have to go see the movie to see the rest of it right there. So, but so much more to say about MaXXXine in this. Okay, so Ty West, again, he's the director of MaXXXine, and then the first two movies, X and Pearl, in the X trilogy. And he specializes at showing us his wickedly nutty sensibilities in his X trilogy movies. Now, in X, it was straight up naughty because he had the main group of characters all filming porn at a farm. And then in Pearl, the second movie, we see wicked interlaced with naughty as we see the pure and kind Pearl grinding on a scarecrow. Okay. Now, if you want to know where Pearl, that character, comes into play in the whole mix of the X trilogy, then you'll have to watch X and Pearl to see that. So basically just have yourself an X trilogy film festival before you see MaXXXine. Now in MaXXXine, we see the wicked and naughty in equal measure. After the events of X, where MaXXXine barely made it out alive, she has developed a talent for survival and no patience whatsoever for anybody, particularly men, even hinting at offending her in any way. Just ask a guy who comes at her in this movie with a switchblade in one scene. He will not be fathering children ever again. Okay, so it is it's pretty it's pretty intriguing. It's pretty that sums it up better than anything I could come up with right there. So the movie has balls, even if that guy no longer does, and how it holds nothing back in the brutal road that MaXXXine takes in her quest for fame. If MaXXXine never finds that fame, well, it isn't from lack of trying. You see her putting in the hard work that her contemporaries don't put in. Instead, they go to parties, and that just might be the last bad decision they ever make going to those parties. Even in the first scene at an audition, you can see she has it. She proceeds to hilariously make sure every other actress still waiting in line to audition knows she, in fact, has it and that they have no shot at the part because she says she nailed it, right? And, hey, like they say, they call it show business, not show friends, as I'm sure you've heard before. And MaXXXine is done with the adult entertainment industry. She wants to go big time by starring in movies where she's not providing horizontal refreshment. And, that's just one of the first things that I want to say about MaXXXine right there. So, I mean, there's plenty more where that came from right there. But also, just want to really quickly tantalize you about a episode that we came out with about a couple months ago and on the Till Death Podcast Network. That's the network that Movies Merica is a part of. And, you've heard of the Oscars, you've heard of the Emmys, you've heard of the Tony Awards. Well, the Till Death Podcast Network, we came out with the Bannies. And, of course, all those other award shows, they bend the knee, okay, they bow at the altar of the Bannies, all right? They can't even compare to the Bannies. And so just to really drive home that part or that point here, let me play you a little video of a particular commercial that we played during the Bannies. Because, when you watch the Oscars, there's commercials, there's movie trailers, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to play for you a commercial that we played during the Bannies here. And that's just one part of the Bannies. If you want to see the rest of this commercial and the rest of the Bannies, you'll have to check out the Bannies via the link in the description down below to the Bannies episode right there. But check this out real quick.
Yeah, I'm married. Does that matter? You do that for me? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from Steak Farm.
Jake from Steak Farm at 3 a.m. Who is this?
It's Jake from Steak Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from Steak Farm?
A pink, gold, and red sequin dress with fishnet stockings and a feather boa and a blue spiked butt plug.
What?
I mean, khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so...
Excuse me? What did your husband just say?
He said you're a guide.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, no, he didn't. I know your man didn't just misgender me. Human rights violation. Human rights violation.
All right, that's all you get. But if you want to see the rest of that hilarious commercial there, then check out the Bannies with the Bannies link in the description down there, and brag to all your friends that you saw the Bannies first, all right? Or maybe they might have seen the Bannies. Okay, it might be too late. They might be coming up to you and say, "Man, have you seen the Bannies?" And don't be that loser that has to say, "Oh man, what is this Bannies you're talking about? I don't know what the Bannies are." And they're all going to be like, "Ha ha, you're a loser." All right, so don't be that loser. Check out the Bannies. All right, so let's talk more about MaXXXine because that's what you're here for, right? So one of the big reasons people watch High West movies is because of the impressive gore that complements his fantastic scripts and intriguing characters. MaXXXine has a bigger budget than X and Pearl, and undoubtedly some of that was used to up their gore game even further. I mean, you get shotgun blasts, slashings, car crushing, a whole smorgasbord of bloody, malicious mayhem that drives home how debauched this sleazy time in Hollywood really is. So a couple of movies it reminded me of are the overlooked movie Starry Eyes, and Under the Silver Lake is another movie that it reminded me of. So those are two movies that deal with a pitch black look at the dark side of Hollywood in fantastical cinematic ways. And those movies are definitely worth a look. You might have to look a little hard. It might be a little bit of a challenge to find those movies, but believe me, they are worth it. Okay. And Under the Silver Lake, give it, when you're watching it, show some patience. Okay. Show a little bit of, a little bit of courage there. Okay. Because it is a slow burn, but believe me, at the end, you will be grateful that I even mentioned it and referred you to it. Okay. Now, the gore in MaXXXine isn't quite as dark, dreary, and visceral as in Starry Eyes. It's more Quentin Tarantino cartoonish in most scenes. So, think of the over-the-top strawberry jam shootout at Candyland and Django Unchained. So, the slasher aspect of MaXXXine is complemented by Ty West harnessing the 80s horror movie vibe from that decade of excess. The cinematography, the lighting of scenes with neon, along with the 80s hairdos and clothes, help with that and give the violence a meanness that the golden age of bloody 80s horror gave us. So think movies like Halloween, or I guess Halloween was in the 70s, so I guess we'll have to talk about Halloween 2, some My Bloody Valentine, if I can say that right, The Stepfather, and of course the Friday the 13th movies. And Ty West put a smile on fans of practical effects gore in MaXXXine. Okay, none of that lazy subpar CGI yuck and muck in MaXXXine. Now I'm betting a couple of gore makeup effect legends like Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero are big fans of Ty West X trilogy movies. Okay, I am betting you dollars to donuts that they're loving the old school retro callback to the 70s and 80s practical effects right there. That is for sure. So, all right, so let me take a moment here to tell you all about our tdpn.locals.com website that you see up there at the very top. And that's our website where we at the Till Death Podcast Network, we have all our great content like videos and blogs and articles, all about things like movies, entertainment, booze recipes, politics, hot button topics of the day, you name it, but presented to you in a way you will not see anywhere else. Believe that, okay? And so as you see down below, if you go to tdpn.locals.com and you put in promo code TDPN, as it says right down there, you get 1 month free membership. Yes, that's right. You have free reign over the website. You can see everything, and I do mean everything. Okay, so you have carte blanche. You're a VIP. And then after that month goes by, then it's just a measly minimum of $3 a month. Okay, that's nothing. That's pocket change. That's nothing. Okay, so $3 a month for all the great content at tdpn.locals.com. Okay, and I believe actually, so there's a link in the description down there as well for tdpn.locals.com if you don't feel like typing that in. So, but yeah, definitely check that out. And again, it's likely a website that your friends and family probably already know about. And if you approach them all about that, they might be like, "Hey, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one that goes to tdpn.locals.com." And won't it be a heartwarming bonding experience when you guys share your love of tdpn.locals.com? Oh, that's so heartwarming. Just thinking about it right now, okay? So get there and do it. All right. And then also, let me remind you to smash that like button right on down. Just smash it. Just drop kick it. Just pile drive that like button. And then while you're showing violence towards buttons down there, go ahead and drop kick that follow or subscribe button if you haven't already on whatever platform you're watching this dear old episode of Movies Merica live on. And then also hit that notification bell down there if you haven't already, so that you get notified, excuse me, of brand new, piping hot, fresh episodes of Movies Merica when they are available. Okay, so that way you don't miss an episode, particularly if you want to watch it live. Okay, so hopefully we got some people watching live right now. Looks like we do. And then also, if you're watching it live, that gives you the ability to live chat with moi over here, yours truly, about, in this episode's case, MaXXXine, or whatever movie that comes to mind, or, any TV series you want to talk about. Hey, just to switch it up, okay? Or, in the case of MaXXXine, you can let me know, hey, did you like the movie if you've seen it? Haven't, ask me any questions that I can answer without spoiling it, okay? Or, if you've seen it, what's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character? Whatever, So the live chat is open, especially just for you, for that express purpose, okay? Because maybe you've seen MaXXXine and you're like just dying for an opportunity to talk about the movie. Well, hey, here's your chance live. And you can live chat with me in YouTube, in Rumble, and in Pilled. Okay, so definitely get in there and live chat with me. And then last but certainly not least, if you're not watching this live, if you're just watching the recording of it, then get down in the comments down below, okay? I want to hear from you with a comment to let me know, hey, what do you think that I'm doing wrong with the episodes? What do you think I'm doing right, if anything? Okay. Any tips, tricks, any constructive criticism you have, I am more than happy to hear about that, because that's the only way that I get better and make this better and make this show better for you. Okay. Or if you want to put down there, hey, a movie that you want me to review, something like that, or maybe your favorite part of MaXXXine, stuff like that. Just go crazy, go wild, let your imagination go nuts. Okay. Down there in the comments section. I want to hear from you. Or hey, if you just want to put hi down there and that's it, that's all you put in the comment section, that's totally cool as well. Okay, so all right, so enough about that, everybody, and let's do this here real quick. I think that I'm getting kind of thirsty over here, and so that tells me that it's time for a little brew review time. All right, here. So let's do this here. I got to shake the rust off the show right here, because it's been a couple weeks, week and a half, something like that, since I've had a show. So we're getting the rust off. All right, there we go, off the show. So yeah, let me introduce you to today's brew here, and that is from Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado, I believe, and this is their Maharaja IPA. So we think Maharaja, we think India. I don't know if I think Boulder, Colorado, but hey, you know what? Hey, more power to them. But this is their Imperial IPA. And as you know, Maharaja means great king, okay? And this is a great beer. I'm digging it, because if you want an Imperial IPA that'll knock you on your butt, as far as beer goes, okay, this is not sipping whiskey. It's not that high in alcohol content. But keep in mind, we're still talking about a beer. But, if you want a beer that is, more than just your typical tranny fluid like Bud Light, or, piss water like Coors Light or something like that, and, you want to man up and show some imagination, then you can get yourself a little Maharaja IPA. And and you're probably not going to be able to get this down at your local grocery store, to be perfectly honest. If I should mention from the get-go, you're probably going to have to go someplace like Open Bar. That's an app on your phone, or GoPuff.com or Drizzly.com, someplace like that, to get yourself some Maharaja IPA, okay? But yeah, this is got an extreme amount of hops, hence the 10%, I guess, the 10% alcohol by volume. But the bitterness on this is a little bit up there, but in a good way, because they temper the bitterness with some citrusy hops and some caramel toffee malts here. So it's not like you're just drinking a beer and you're puckering because you're just drinking straight up lemon juice or something. It's not like that at all. It's pretty good. But yeah, so you will feel the 10% alcohol by volume on here. And I read that actually this beer goes pretty good with some smoked chicken wings. So do with that information what you will. But I'm getting tired of talking about it. I'd rather just drink it. So I'm gonna take a tug off this. So bear with me, folks. Good stuff. Good stuff. So Yep. Those crazy Coloradans and their Indians, dots, not feathers. Their crazy Indian ways there in Boulder, Colorado. So, but yeah, the Maharaja is working for me, and make the Maharaja IPA work for you by getting your hands on some of that. Okay. But with that, let's wrap up this brew review time. All right, and now some random thoughts about MaXXXine here. So you'll notice when you see this movie that it's got the 80s nostalgia down, all the way down to like the new Coke cans and the corded phones and the 80s era Gatorade bottles. I know I had I'm a child of the 80s, and so I know I had a little fun spotting those things, checking out and eyeballing like, oh, wait, I remember when Gatorade bottles looked like that. Or, hey, I remember when you had to, sprint your ass to wherever your corded phone was. Sorry about the beer burp. To wherever your corded phone was, you had to put your running shoes on and sprint your ass to the phone. You didn't have a smartphone just sitting there right next to you that you could just grab, right? Or you didn't have earbuds, that you could just answer a phone with or something like that. Not back in those days. And I remember you were considered high society if you had a corded phone, but the cord was 600 feet long, where you could take the phone through, all kinds of rooms. You just had to drag that cord with you. So this movie will take you back to memories of the 80s if you were alive in the 80s or you're old enough in the 80s to remember that stuff. And I also liked the very 80s opening and end credits. The opening credits have ZZ Top's "Give Me All Your Lovin'" played over it. And then also we have Kim Carnes' Betty Davis Eyes playing over the end credits. And overall, it's got a great soundtrack. It's got, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's got Rat, Mary Jane Girls, Judas Priest, Animotion, Laura Branigan, just to name a few 80s artists that are on the MaXXXine soundtrack there. And it's also got a pretty good, unsettling horror movie composition or score from Brian Tyler, Tyler Bates. There you go, Tyler Bates. And Tyler Bates does the soundtracks for a lot of movies that I'm sure you've heard of. Just, IMDb, Tyler Bates, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And then also it's kind of surreal seeing Kevin Bacon in this movie here, because Kevin Bacon, speaking of the 80s, he was a big star back in the 80s. And so it's kind of surreal seeing him here. I mean, he's obviously an old man now, and he's playing this old man character, so to speak, in this kind of creepy, sleazy private investigator here. So he's far from looking like Ren McCormick from Footloose in MaXXXine right there. He's not dancing and jumping off of stuff in a barn and anything like that. Okay, so he's not hanging out with high school kids, or at least he better not, because that would be very creepy for his character in this movie right here. So, all right, but that's just been my random thoughts about MaXXXine, and you'll be able to compile your own random thoughts when you see this movie. And if you haven't guessed through what I've said about MaXXXine so far, you should definitely go see this movie. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now, don't bring the kids to this movie, okay? This is a hard R-rated horror slasher, bloody, gory movie, okay? So don't bring the kids to this, okay? Instead, take those kids to Despicable Me 4 that just opened up this week, or Inside Out 2, something like that, and then drop them off back at home, get a babysitter, and then go back to the theater and check out MaXXXine right there. You will not be sorry whatsoever. Okay. All right, so let me do this right now. I want to play you a little promo from a sponsor that I believe we are very lucky to have here, helping out our program with their support. And that sponsor is Flip City Magazine. And you may be wondering, well, what kind of magazine is Flip City there, man? Well, Flip City is the Mad magazine, the cracked magazine of today. Okay, we all remember Mad magazine, right, from back in the day, where you could reliably pick up a copy of Mad magazine and, typically, laugh your butt off. but not so much anymore because Mad Magazine and Cracked have allowed themselves to be assimilated into what I call the woke Borg, okay? They would rather teach you a lesson and teach you how to live your life, young man, okay, rather than crack you up, okay? So there's a useful tool for the comedy left at this point, but not Flip City Magazine. They have one priority and one priority only, and that is to make you laugh, okay? But don't take it from me. Let's hear from them.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
All right, yeah. So you should be jacked up with excitement to grab yourself some Flip City Magazine. And we're going to make it very easy for you on how to get your hands on some Flip City Magazine by the fact that we put a link in the description down there that all you have to do is click on that and get yourself some Flip City Magazine. And right now, because we love you so much, we love you, we cherish you so much, if you put in promo code MOVIES when you're ordering your Flip City via that link in the description, you're going to get 10% off your order of the best non-woke comic around, okay? So don't hesitate. Get down there get down to that link in the description and get yourself some Flip City, okay? So, because I know I've got some Flip City right here, haha, and I love it. And you can't have this because it's mine, okay? So you can get your own. All right, by clicking on that link in the description as I burp again. And but you know what? Hey, you get down and ignore my burps and get yourself some Flip City via that link in the description down below. Don't hesitate. Do it. Yes. All right. So just to remind you, I do have my Movies Merica spoiler warning show this Thursday night. Okay, I'm starting that up again. I took last week off, took the last couple weeks off there. So a little over a week ago, I was off because I was guesting on the the live watch show of the disastrous for Biden and victorious for Trump debate there. So we were watching the Biden-Trump debate there and loving every minute of it here if you're a Trump fan like me. And then this past Thursday I was off because last Thursday was what? 4th of July. Okay, so can't have a show on the 4th of July. But this Thursday we are going to restore order. Okay, back to business. Movies Merica spoiler warning returns. And we will be going, or I will be going all over MaXXXine, but in heavy spoiler fashion, okay? So your homework, your mission, if you should choose to accept it, is to check out MaXXXine between now and then, if you haven't already, and then report to Movies Merica spoiler warning this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, or 4 p.m. Pacific, okay? And that day, you'll be able to go to like my X page or Gab or Facebook or wherever to grab the link to watch the show that day, okay? So I'm on, so if you just look for at Movies Merica on any of those platforms that I mentioned, you'll be able to get to the link for Movies Merica. Spoiler warning there, okay? So because, yeah, you want to be cool, right? You don't want to do that with everybody that you know. You don't want to go from...
She's gone from suck to blow.
You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that gal. that goes from suck to blow because you didn't join me for Movies Merica. Spoiler warning, this Thursday night, MaXXXine edition. So check that out. All right, so one of the main tenets of Movies Merica is I want to warn everybody whether or not a movie is a woke after-school special, because that is a very important part of what I'm trying to do for my fellow men and women, okay? Because I don't want you to be sorry in the middle of a dark theater when you're watching a movie to realize, oh my God, this is a woke after school special. If only I had watched something ahead of time that would have warned me against watching, spending my hard-earned money on this movie that is masquerading as a movie, but it's really just a woke after school special. So is MaXXXine a woke after school special? No, it is not. Some whose woke trigger finger is overly twitchy might say that making a woman the hero is woke, but that is not what woke is, okay? It's perfectly fine having a woman hero or heroes in a movie. I personally don't have a problem with it. It shouldn't be a problem for anybody else. That's totally cool, all right? So, yeah, women power. You know what? I have no problem with them kicking ass and taking names in a movie just as much as the men. But it's how it's marketed and promoted, okay? If you have a movie where the hero or heroes is a woman and you just let the movie stand on its own with a good script that's not woke, that's one thing. Now, if you market the movie as a girl boss movie that finally gets back at all those evil men, well, that's woke, because now your woman hero movie is a tool for division, and woke is all about division. Okay, that's one of the core tenets of woke. Is it's meant to divide en route to destroying us all. Okay, like think the movie Aliens. Okay, back in 1986, right? Aliens. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley is the female hero in that movie. Now, Weaver never bored watchers and listeners in her Aliens interviews, when she was going around and doing press for promoting Aliens back in 86, all right? She never bored those that watch those interviews with her crybabying about men holding her back. And then Aliens is a screw you girl boss movie, so take that, men. Now, contrast that with the flop movie, The 355, a pathetic ripoff of Charlie's Angels, starring feminazi redheaded stepchild Jessica Chastain and Diane Kruger. The messaging that Chastain put out there for that sad box office bomb was basically a cinematic middle finger to the evil patriarchy. Now that's the difference, okay? But we get none of that with MaXXXine. And so, no, MaXXXine is not a woke after school special. And we could all breathe a sigh of relief knowing that right there. Am I right? Absolutely, okay? So let me do this here real quick. So I just wanted to remind you that if you are checking this out and you're appreciating anything that I'm doing here, warning you whether a movie is a woke after school special or turning you on to a new beer that you haven't heard of before, or giving you a spoiler-free take on a movie and warning you against going and seeing it if it sucks, or turning you on to it and telling you it's worth your hard-earned money to go to the theater and check it out. If you appreciate any of that enough to throw a buck or two my way, well, this is how you can do that, okay? So if you're checking me out on YouTube, you can give me what's called a super chat. And when you give me a super chat, that lets you say, hey, let's give Van a $1 super chat or a $2 super chat or however much you want to, okay? And the way you do that in YouTube is down by where you type in your live chat message. There's a button with a dollar bill there, and you just got to click on that. And then you just got to choose how much you want to give me. And it's sorely appreciated. I appreciate that. Now, if you're checking me out on Rumble, you can give me what's called a Rumble rant. And the way you do that is also down by where you type in your live chat message. But the button there is a $sign. So you're just going to click on that. It works the exact same way. Just pick whatever amount you want to throw my way, okay? And again, I appreciate that as well. I got kids to feed, okay? 17 to be precise. Okay, maybe not that many, but but then also, if you're checking me out on Pilled, you can give me what's called gold pills, okay? And in the Pilled world, gold pills actually equate to money, actual real life money, okay? It's kind of cool. And so there you can just give me a particular amount of gold pills, which adds up to a particular amount of money if you are so inclined. And so that's only if you appreciate what I'm doing enough to do that, okay? And now I'm not going to guilt trip you into doing that. If you don't feel like doing it, more power to you. Totally cool. I just appreciate you checking out the show, whether you're checking out live or later on, okay? I appreciate that. So it means a lot to me, man, okay? It means a lot to me. All right. It's so touching. And, I just I love it right there. And
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
All right, maybe I'm getting a little too emotional. So that set me straight. That clip set me straight, everybody. Okay, but that's enough begging for money from me right there. So my final thoughts about MaXXXine is, yes, you should most definitely go check this out at the theaters. It's an original movie. I always champion people going to see original movies as long as the original movie is good. Okay, if it's dog crap, I don't care how original it is. You shouldn't go see it at the theater right there. But this is a good original movie to check out. Again, leave the urchins at home, all right? Don't traumatize your children, okay, to where they're so traumatized they go psycho and they turn out to be a slasher killer like in this movie. Don't be that parent that does that, all right? So, and I've seen that in movies. I've seen that like R-rated slasher movies. You're sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, what is that? Is that a baby over there? What the hell? And then they now baby's not as bad because the baby's not comprehending anything it's saying. But then you look over there like, is that like their 4 or 5-year-old little brother or sister over there? What the hell? Oh my God, it's a psycho parent. So hey, parents, hey, terrible parents. Good luck dealing with those kids. All right, so in the future. So yeah, don't be that parent. So leave the urchins at home, but go check out MaXXXine at the movie theater right there. I don't think you'll be sorry whatsoever. Now, I would heavily recommend seeing X, that's the first movie, and then Pearl after that. Okay, so Pearl, less important, but I would check out Pearl. I think like seeing all the movies as a trilogy in order is a special kind of treat right there. You'll be so happy, and it's so tasty and so good. And if you don't, you're going to be a homo. Don't be that. Okay, so all right, so let's check out here real quick. I'm just going to do a little housekeeping here and see what we got going on here on the docket, and I think we are good to go. All right, so we are wrapping up this show right here, everybody. Okay, but as I always say, everybody, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey! I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. Hey, so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.